What's up, everybody? It's Cedric712. Today, I am here with the one and only, the new face of Tampa Bay radio, the face of the franchise, Joey Franchize. How you feeling today, man?
Feel good after that intro, man. That was awesome, man.
Good. Thanks for taking the time to sit with us today, man.
Nah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So you're a DJ, a producer, broadcaster. You do a little bit of everything. So tell people a little bit about how you got started on this journey and how you ended up here broadcasting at Wild 94.1.
Wow. It's a pretty decorated story, I will say. I come from Hartford, Connecticut. I started off as college. I got involved in college radio, and a friend of mine who was actually kind of like the program director of that station. He was also a part-time and street teamer for Hot 937 WZMX back home. Me and him got really cool, and I was really hungry to get on the air like ASAP. I was probably like 17, 18 years old in school, just kind of wet behind the ears, but just really like so interested and so like eager to get on the air or get involved with the radio station and kind of work my way up. I was never like, oh, I need to be on the air right away. I always knew I had to kind of progress and get myself to a point where I can, I got where I'm at today. So just climbing those ladders and making the right connections with the people I needed to talk to, and just kind of working hard and being a fly on the wall at times, and learning from people that help kind of help craft the personality I've created, the brand I've created. Those are some really big inspirations, and just again that guy leading me, getting me to the door to meet the next group of people that would eventually like help me get to the next my career, helped out a lot. And after Connecticut, it progressed to here, and this has been about 8 years now. I've been here. Wow. 8 years. So yeah, it's been one hell of a ride. I created such a great following just within that tri-state area between Connecticut, Boston, and New York. And it was really rough to kind of leave that situation. I was not only just integrated in the community, but well known on the air. I was doing a morning show. I did afternoons. I did mix show, overnights, you name it. I've done everything. And I was also a part of UConn Huskies, so I used to DJ all the UConn Husky games. And that was tough because you know how they always win in championships. So those are always fun to do. So. Yeah, but when Tampa gave me the call, I picked up the phone. I came down, I met Orlando. We had lunch, we chatted, and literally they flew me down. I went back home the same day, and it probably took about a week or so until I got a phone call randomly, man. I was just chilling in my crib, and it's so funny. I know it's such a long story. I talked way too much. But a friend of mine was wearing a Tampa Bay Rays hat. And he had just come. He was playing baseball, softball or something. He played in like a softball league, and he came in my crib with a Tampa Bay hat. He was like just checking up on me, just seeing what's up. And he was like, "Hey man, you ever got a phone call back from what's the situation like in Tampa? You gonna go down there? What's going on?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't know. I haven't got a call back." Not even 10 minutes after having that conversation with him, Orlando calls my phone and he's like, "Hey man, how you feel about coming to Tampa?" Wow. And I'm like, "What?" Like that just blew my whole mind. Like. It's like, and I call myself Joey Franchize because of I love sports, and when you draft somebody, it's they're the franchise player. You look at somebody like a LeBron or a Luka Doncic, those are franchise players, and I always felt like if any situation and that I got involved with whether it was radio or anything else, like I was going to be the franchise player of whatever I was giving myself, like the most of myself to, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is that I was striving for, or the company or the what have you. So yeah, when I got that call, it was like being in like a draft room, and getting called up to the big leagues or whatever, and getting drafted. So that was a really cool experience, and. I didn't hesitate. I took the job, and here I am.
That's awesome, man. And so you've had quite a career then. So you've been in this game a while as well. So from up north radio, down south radio, and since you've been in this game a minute, what changes have you seen in the radio game since you've been in it? With the rise of streaming platforms and listener engagement, how has the radio changed over the years for you that you've seen?
It's changed a lot. It has changed a lot. Just the way we consume music altogether. Again, you mentioned streaming. That plays a major role. Radio is always just kind of, there, waiting in the wings and always trying to adapt. And that's what I kind of appreciate about the game, and I love about myself, personally, is because I'm always looking to see what's the next move. You know what I mean? Like, this trend is not gonna stay, the same forever. What are we looking out for? Podcasts are big. You got music changing. The big people, consume music. Like, it's growing all the time. And I think being in radio, you just got to kind of adapt and kind of peep where the game is going and how everything's kind of transcending and moving. And I think we move accordingly. And I think as a company, Beasley's recognizing that. I try to tap in more, with understanding like what's streaming. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get, as music director now, like I get, I can see what is streaming in the market, what people are listening to, what Shazamming, you name it, and you kind of correlate that into your research as to how we know what's going to be receptive over the air, what's going to appeal to the masses. You know what I mean? Kind of calculate all that stuff, but we're always, alert from when kind of things change in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like the dynamic of the industry and whatnot. So I think. Yeah, it's really, if anything, it's really helped us a lot to understand what, people in the market are really tapped into. So I appreciate for, what streaming is and what it continues to do. So it helps us a lot. It makes the job a lot, in a sense, a little bit more easier. So.
Yeah, a lot of music executives and label heads, they still say the radio is so important. Radio is king. You still hear that. And with everything changing, in your opinion, like, why do you feel like radio is still so important in the music industry today, and like what role does it play in the music industry today?
I think what it does, it helps. We're helping these artists. They're trying to sell records at the end of the day too. And I think what's interesting enough is, you got people that are hyped up to, get their songs streaming on certain playlists and things like that. But I feel like with radio, there's still the connection with the people, still that local connection. And that's when I'll get hit up by a lot of local artists, and it's overwhelming, but it's and it's like flattering in a sense too. That like, okay, with all this other stuff going on, like you still look at radio as like I made it, the I made it moment, and that's awesome. And I try to do my best to find the best talent and songs actually that fit our format and what we do here. To help shine some light on local artists. I've done it with a few of them. Most recently, O.A. Mark, who's from Tampa. He recently had a record, Unconditional, and an amazing song. And it was really good. And we played it for a new joint at 420. It got a good response. We engage with our listeners by talking to them on the phones or texting to them. Sometimes they'll DM us or throw us on the stories, and we'll chat back like, hey, how'd you feel about this song? And what I mean, and whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's really cool to see everything just kind of happen in real time, and it's still happening that way. And that's where we kind of, in a sense, win. Continue to win because of, again, that locality and just the fact that you can still directly get to the listener, and people are we're engaging, and I think you can't really get that too much with again like when you're doing stuff off streaming stuff and whatnot. But yeah.
So what's next for Joey Franchize and with Wild 94.1? What you guys got planned for the rest of the year?
So we're actually mapping that stuff out now. I just left a meeting over there, so we're seeing what's up now. We're hoping to bring some shows to the city again. We're looking into that. We all, Orlando's Toy Drive does numbers every year during the holidays. Recently just, I've been trying to get back into the sports world for a minute. I just recently got picked up by the Detroit Tigers' minor league team, the Lakeland Flying Tigers, to do their events. To do their games. Okay. So yeah, I'll be a DJ for them, and kind of bringing back the whole UConn thing that I was talking about. Like I've missed that aspect of part of what I was doing back home in Connecticut. So I'm glad to be involved with the Lakeland Flying Tigers, and we also got a podcast. I'm trying to dive into some voice acting this year too. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get like physical acting, but like voice acting, I think that's where I'm at. I want to start. My dream has been to voice act for cartoons, video games, and I don't know, anything Marvel, because I'm such a Marvel nerd. And speaking of that, I do a podcast called Geek Culture Congress with a few of my buddies from here, actually, in the building, and we just talk Marvel and everything. That's a podcast that's actually slowly building and getting to where it needs to get. So I'm excited about that.
Nice. You do a little bit of everything, then,
I
man.
try,
very,
man.
Very diverse portfolio you got.
You know what's crazy is like, somebody asked me, and just to say what you just said, yeah, like people have asked me, hey, you do too much. You do so many, other things outside of radio, and and not to sound like cocky or not, like I feel like I do a lot of this stuff in my sleep. I've been doing it for so long, and it's crazy to hear like sometimes where I feel like I'm either being mediocre on air or I'm not DJing, maybe that, like, I don't feel like I'm DJing at my best on the air or whatever. Like, people are like, yo, man, you are killing it on the air. They're sharing it on their stories. And I'm like, damn, like, was that good? Like, I thought it was trash. But, yeah, so that's it. It's really just become it's just part of my lifestyle. And it's something I still love to this day. Like, my kid gets into it, Like, my kid hears me on the air and she's like, that's Dada. Like, that's Dada on the air. So, and it's funny because we were in the house. I got her this little DJ setup. It's like a drum pad and like a turntable on it and mixer. And she's like, Dada, turn off the lights. I'm going to DJ. Because it has a little disco ball that lights up too. So it's dope to just to see that. And, I never want to take the game that helped make me, for granted. I always played it with honor. And just to see, people still tap in with me and show love and to see like my family and embrace it and, my child to see it in real time too. I think that is really what does it for me and gets me out the bed to go on the air at 7 a.m.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, keep up the great work. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow all these things you got going on.
For sure. JoeyFranchize.com. I just revamped my website, actually. At Joey Franchize on Instagram, on X, and also, what's my TikTok? At Joey Franchize _official, because somebody stole that Joey Franchize. I will find you. It's actually, I've reported the page like 1,000 times, and TikTok is still yet to do anything about it. But yeah, you can tap in with me on all those platforms. And yeah, of course, Wild 94.1 every morning, 7:30 and 9 a.m. for the mix shows. And I am 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And thank you everybody out there for tuning in. For all things music, art, and culture, tune in right here, only on Arkive. Peace.